Welcome back. We are with Gabriel and we were heading to Von Glauer's house. We were going to go visit him, give him the old what up, because we had just ran into a murder scene outside the lodge where he supposedly is a very affluent member. So I think he would probably want to know. So let's go to the Perlac and see what's going on.
Entschuldigung, Baron. Gabriel Knight ist hier, c'est Suzanne.
Lassen Sie bitte ihn herein. Gabriel, what a pleasure to see you so soon. Bringen Sie uns bitte ein zweites Glas Wein.
Hope I'm not taking advantage of your kind invitation.
My invitations are meant to be kept. Come, warm yourself. I hope you like wine. I got hooked on the grape when I lived in France.
It's fine, Baron.
Call me Frick.
All right.
Good. I like to have things settled. You were going to tell me how you found the club and about your hunting in America.
Oh, there must be more interesting subjects.
No doubt. You are a man who runs deep, I suspect.
On my off days.
I find nothing more stimulating than a new companion. A fresh mind with treasures to reap. New thoughts like rare birds uncovered and examined, one by one. It is only when people know each other well that they run out of things to say.
May we never be so cursed.
I swear, it sounds like he's hitting on us the whole time. So we can talk to him, and really the only other thing we can click on is this up here.
That's a great mask. Mind if I take a look?
Be my guest.
Interesting. Is it African?
No, Indian. I picked it up in Brazil.
Hmm.
So he picked it up in Brazil. At least I think that's what he said. I think the voices get a little muffled sometimes. Now, to talk to you, my friend. We've got a lot of things to discuss. So let's go ahead and get to it with a little bit of, hey, how are you doing? Oh, it's going to go into specifics.
Are you from Munich originally?
No, I was raised abroad. But both of my parents had deep Bavarian roots.
Really? Where abroad?
All over. France, England, South America, North America. I love to travel.
So tell me about your family.
The Von Glovers? We are not nearly as old a line as the Ritters, I'm afraid.
You have a wife? Children?
Good God. No.
You sound like someone else I know.
I've been picking up on certain similarities between us. Do you have relatives? How fares the Ritter family tree?
I'm the last.
I too. I suppose all trees eventually stop bearing fruit.
Whoa, I just looked at that Glauer's face. That is, like, halfway between stoned off your gourd and I really want to eat your face. It's kind of creepy.
How'd you end up here?
My circumstances were probably not much different than your own. I wanted to return to the land of my ancestors, and so I did. Which reminds me, you were going to tell me how the Ritter family ended up in America.
My grandfather. He left the family and went to New Orleans.
But you chose to return to the family. Why?
If you want to know the truth, I didn't have a hell of a lot of choice.
Yes. I understand.
Because I yaten the Schottens. Wait, no, something else. Anyway, back to the club.
Tell me about the club.
I'd prefer it if you formed your own opinions. To be perfectly frank, I could use a fresh perspective. That's one reason why I invited you to join us.
How about telling me about the other club members?
Ah, my select few. You find them valuable friends once you get to know them.
Did most of them come to the club through you?
For the most part. Though occasionally, fate throws one into my lap.
Either they're not drinking much out of those cups, or those cups are getting refilled on their own. Or they should be, or maybe they're both just really smashed and they don't know that there's nothing else in the cups.
All of the men at the club are from wealthy German families, I gather.
Yes, but it's not quite that simple. I am a believer in self-determination. Each man at the club must also be personally accomplished and gifted.
Really?
Absolutely. For example, von Eigner owns one of Germany's biggest meat butchering plants, and he runs an elite private brewery. It's true he inherited the business, but he's expanded it a great deal.
A butchery. Huh. And the others?
Price is recognized as one of the best trial lawyers in Germany. He seems pleasant enough in person, but you would be surprised how vicious he can be in a courtroom.
And Henneman?
Is with the government. He has a prominent position and is an acknowledged contender for higher office.
Really? How high?
There have been newspaper reports that predicted the highest.
That would be convenient for his friends, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Such men are an asset to everyone who knows them.
And Baron von Zell?
Von Zell's family owned the majority of stock of one of Munich's oldest banks.
In his own personal accomplishments?
Gar is a quite promising young man. He was always top of his class, the best at anything he did.
I keep picking up a past tense here.
You haven't seen him at his best. He's going through a rough spot lately, I'm afraid.
Poor guy.
There's something about the club I don't quite understand.
Yeah?
I get the feeling you're not your average, ordinary hunting club.
No?
Well, that room in the basement, for instance.
I gather you've been exploring.
Well, the door was open.
It doesn't matter. You are right. Yes. The Königlich Bayerische Hofjagdloge is more than just a hunting club. We share certain philosophical beliefs as well.
I'm guessing it has to do with something with all the rare exotic specimens that you have.
I'm curious about these philosophical beliefs of yours. Can I talk you into enlighten me?
Are you really interested?
Yes.
I'm glad. You seem to be the sort of man who would appreciate our way of thinking. The men at the club and I, it is our desire to reconnect with our true physical nature.
Go on.
Think of it this way. What makes men different from any other species on this planet? Civilization, of course. Oh, it's not a bad thing, human society. But it has come at a terrible price. Through civilization, man has lost his physical self, his sensory power, his instinct, if you will. He became fat and lazy, a dulled, rusted blade.
And those are my good days.
Picture a beast in the woods. It is alert. It smells. It sees. It feels everything around it. It can tell where some other animal has passed days before, where food is to be found. It can sense danger. You put civilized man in the woods, and he's comparably deaf, dumb, and blind.
I hear you, but isn't some of that related to physical makeup? Our senses of smell and hearing aren't as sharp as those of wolves, for example.
That's just it. Surely men once had those abilities. As generations of city dwellers failed to use their most acute senses, genetically they started to fall away, the way limbs wither when not exercised. I believe we can hold this degeneration. And not only hold it, but recover that which was lost.
It's an interesting concept. Do you have any proof that such powers are recoverable?
Proof? I felt things myself. Keener hearing, sharper smells, but documentable proof? That is harder. To what extent we can recover these primal abilities, and what some of those abilities might prove to be, that is what we still struggle to find out.
You're very convincing, Friedrich. There's no doubt that the potential is fascinating.
So the club philosophy goes back to this basic human senses where they feel that humans once were able to be almost as beasts, where they could sense things and do more with oneself, and their philosophy apparently is to try and find a way to get back to that point where man was closer to animal, more like in your senses than say like your behavior. But you would think one would come with the other. Maybe?
How does one go about trying to get back in touch with one's physical self? Does it have something to do with hunting?
You are right. That's part of it. Yes. Man is, or was, a predator. But unfortunately, he was too smart for his own good. He figured out how to raise his prey in pens. Hunting helps us get back in touch with our predator soul.
Do you? Get back in touch with your predator soul?
Some of us have been more successful at tapping into that than others.
Man, there's a lot we can talk about this.
So how has this philosophy affected the men in the club?
The men at the club are all excellent specimens who have used the philosophy to increase their success and power.
So your woods becomes corporate headquarters, your prey the competition.
Some of the technique can be applied, yes. When the senses are primed, one can pick up all sort of feedback that is normally lost in the haze.
Speaking hypothetically, do you think it would be possible to take this philosophy too far?
Funny that should occur to you so quickly. It hadn't occurred to me for the longest time. I hope not.
Or has it already?
Have you ever heard of the Black Wolf?
I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
Gunther! Würden Sie das bitte reinigen?
You barely got me.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Danke. I feel so clumsy. Danke, Gunther. What was it you asked again?
I asked if you'd ever heard of the Black Wolf.
Of course, you did. I suppose you just startled me. These killings in the papers. They've really got me derailed.
Any particular reason?
People getting slaughtered. Children. In broad daylight. Nature can seem cruel, but it is orderly. It does not waste or torture. Not like this. And with the club espousing what we do, our philosophy does not support this kind of thing.
I'm sure that's true.
I apologize. It's just... I'm concerned that we are not put in the best of light under these circumstances. To promote hunting on these atrocities in the papers. You must understand. The nature I promote is not a murderer. When a healthy beast kills, it takes only what it needs to survive. And it does so respectfully. It is only the man who is capable of such a pointless slaughter. I'll be glad when this has passed. I'm sure the other men feel the same way.
So he's afraid that all the killings are going to put the hunting lodge in a bad light, but because one, like, you know, these guys promote hunting, there's this thing out there supposedly hunting and killing people, but he also made the good point of, in his view, man or people are the ones that will just go out and kill for no reason, whereas nature kills to survive. But that looks like all that we can do, so why don't we just go ahead and get up and take our leave?
Well, I hate to say it, but I should go.
It's been a rare pleasure.
Yeah. I've been kind of isolated over here myself.
I'll see you at the club tonight, won't I?
Oh, right.
And perhaps you'd like to come over for a drink after that? It will give us a chance to talk some more about the others.
I'd like that. Thanks.
But now that we have some insight into the members, more specifically Von Zell, which, from the sound of it, he was sounding like he was going through a hard time, where he wasn't possibly truly living up to his potential. So let's go and see if we can figure out what that is all about. We want to go all the way back over this way. Gabriel gets his cardio in every day. Yes, we've seen that. We want to go in. And now we want to speak to him.
May I speak with you, Baron von Zell?
Yes? What is it?
Now we want to talk to him about pretty much everything.
So, what do you do for a living, Baron von Zell?
For a living? My family is in banking, Herr Knight. What do you do for a living?
Me? I'm a writer.
A writer? How aggressive of you.
Not really sure how writing is aggressive, but who knows?
I take it you're particularly fond of hunting. I noticed photographs downstairs. You and the Baron sure do get around.
We are the best? You may find that out for yourself someday.
Oh, I'm anxious for us to hit the field. I have a feeling there's a lot I could learn from you.
You may find yourself more challenged than you can imagine.
True. I don't get in as much practice as I'd like, and hunting's like any other sport. The more you do it, the better you get.
Bullshit! Hunting is a matter of the spirit, of will.
So it is.
However, Evan could see that von Glover and I have had more practice than the others in the club. We used to hunt together quite a bit.
Used to. You don't hunt together anymore?
No, not often.
He gets very angry. We'll come back to hunting. So let's talk about some of the more people. I say things in weird order. It's very strange. Let's talk about some of the other members of the club.
How about telling me about the other club members?
I have a better idea. Why don't you tell me about yourself?
Like what?
For example, why are you in Munich?
Oh, I'm just vacationing. Thought I'd stop by on my way through.
Really? And where are you staying in Munich?
Outside of town a ways.
Which suburb?
I'm on a farm, actually. And you know, I don't remember the name of the area. Probably couldn't pronounce it anyway.
Yes. Quite curious for someone with a supposedly high Germanic background.
Yep. Guess going out and making your mark on the rest of the world will do that to a family line.
Wow, he is angry.
Club seems to be an exciting place. Do y'all travel much as a group?
No.
Really? You don't hunt abroad?
We are all very busy men.
No, isn't that odd?
Now we can go back to hunting. We wanted to go ahead and get the topic of the trophies in the basement, but we want to speak to him about that last, which it's at the bottom, so that works too.
Are you and Von Glauer too busy to hunt much these days, or have y'all fallen out?
I suppose I've simply outgrown him.
Really? In what way?
You wouldn't understand.
Oh. So, how do you like the club?
Herr Knight, if you wish to learn about the club, you should keep your mouth shut and observe.
Have you ever heard of the Black Wolf?
No.
Ominous music.
You mentioned that y'all don't go on hunting trips abroad?
We do not.
But those trophies in the basement, y'all really have white tigers in Germany or lions?
The majority of what the club hunts are far more common species, Herr Knight. The trophies in the basement are exceptions, and they were obtained quite legally.
Whoa, you misunderstand me, Baron von
I think not. In any case, the basement is not public territory, and its contents are, therefore, none of your concern.
Of course, I do apologize.
As a guest of this club, the why you are a guest of this club is a mystery to me. But as a guest, perhaps you should limit your prowling and sniffing to areas which you are offered openly by those who belong here.
You're so right.
Damn. He be angry. Why, though? What did we do to him? So now that we've talked to Baron von Zell and we've gotten some more information about the club, and he thinks that we're being a Snoopy Snoop, which, come on, we're being a Snoopy Snoop. Let's head to our next destination. Very slowly. We'll go to a place that we went to all the way at the beginning of the game, but couldn't really get anything done. But now we can. We need to speak with Lieber.
Kommen Sie herein.
He sounds angry too.
Commissar Lieber, so generous of you to see me.
Sit down, Mr. Knight. Now, you will tell me what you think you know about this case, yes?
How do you say, quid pro quo in German?
There is no translation.
Thanks so much for your time.
Sit down. What are you proposing exactly?
You want information? I want information. It's, kind of convenient that way.
I can't give you police information.
Why not? I'm not asking for anything confidential. Hell, I can't even read the damn newspapers around here. Press release stuff, that's all I want.
All right. But then it's your turn. Agreed?
I hear you.
We now need to talk to him about things.
At least he's neater than Detective Mosley.
Mostly.
Probably nothing of interest back there. Besides, I can't see past the commissar's big head.
Damn. We'll come back to that. Mason, mainly because I don't think we know what's actually on there yet, but we will. All right, buddy, let's have a chat.
How long have you been a commissar?
10 years.
All of them here in Munich?
Yes.
And a criminal commissar is like, what, a police detective in America?
Americans don't have so many ranks, I think. A German criminal commissar is, say, more like an English chief inspector.
Ah, P.D. James.
What?
Nothing. Tell me about the other victims.
What do you want to know?
How many victims have there been?
5, including the one downtown.
Could there be bodies out there that you haven't found yet?
No. The killings have been done in broad daylight. Body parts left like a trail of boat criminal. Breadcrumbs?
Jack the Ripper Wolf. When were the other victims killed?
The first was 32 days ago.
2 days after the zoo wolves escaped. And the others?
The 2 teenage boys were killed 20 days ago. The Huber girl 6 days ago.
They're speeding up.
Maybe.
What about the locations of the killings? Any pattern there?
You can see for yourself if you like. I have a marked map on the wall. Until last night, the killer always struck 30 to 40 minutes outside the city. The first was killed north of München near Esching. The 2 males were killed in Feldkirchen, that's east. Tony Huber was killed on her parents' farm just west of Lachem.
Oh, there's so much to talk about.
What does forensics say about the killer?
That information is not for the press.
But the bite marks, saliva. You've seen the bodies, I haven't.
All I can say is, it is an animal.
Mind if I take a guess? Your boys in the lab say the bite marks are canine and are closer to wolf than to dog. But beyond that, they can't pin it down. Nothing like it on the records. Probably a weird hybrid. Yeah. That's what I thought.
Oh boy, here comes the question.
Have you given any thought at all about the possibility of
What?
a werewolf? Never mind.
That was about the reaction you would expect. But when we come back, friends, we will finish talking to Lieber. We'll look at the map, which is now apparently a map of the location of the killings. And we'll see if we can find a pattern ourselves. Till then, you all take care. Of course, have a good one.